Hey guys, what's happening? This is Forgo Nation, and today we are going to talk about Tier 2 Namor. Now on that Marvel, they tricked the Star Agents with this guy because in the beta testing, he wasn't very great. He was pretty underwhelming. And we'll talk about why in a minute, but man, he was. But I gotta tell you guys, after everything I've seen from him at Tier 3, and after what I've done with him at Tier 2, this guy's pretty damn strong. This guy, a lot of people underrated him in the beginning, and rightfully so, because in that beta testing, he wasn't very good. His survivability wasn't very great. And that's because Netmarble changed a few things on this guy after the official release. We'll quickly run through the build, and then we'll talk about, what's different between the beta and now. He has almost 18,000 physical attack, he has almost max attack speed, he has 48 crit rate, 193 critical damage, which actually can bump up to 293, actually can go up to 300%, pretty awesome. And he has max ignore defense and max skill cooldown. All of his gears are 20, no urus. You guys know how I like to do it. I like to test characters with, a base build first. His passive gives him a crit damage increase by 25%, which is really nice, and a 30% chance to increase critical damage by 100% on critical attacks. So his critical damage can max out to 300%, man. Increased guaranteed critical rate by 30%, man. That's an awesome tier 2 passive, guys. Seriously. The 1 skill, no big deal. The 2 skill has a 3-second bind, could be useful in PvP. The 3 skill, no big deal. Actually, the 3 skill in the beta testing was just a regular skill. It didn't have any kind of survivability. Now it's actually an iframe. This passive, super armor, all defense by 25%. Decrease all damage received by 25%, and this wasn't working in the beta testing either. We didn't have that decrease all damage received by 25%, so he wasn't even near as tanky as he is now. The 4 skill has an 8-hit guard for 8 seconds, that's the same, and the 5th skill has this awesome increase all attack by 55% to all allies, which is nuts, guys. And all defenses by 70%, and all speed by 20% for 3 seconds. And then he gets another all attack buff by 55%, all defense by 70%, and all speed by 20% for 7 seconds. It's just freaking crazy. Now the crazy thing about this is it's on a 10-second cooldown. And your proc triggers, if you have a damage proc, it's going to trigger every 7 seconds if you're doing hits. So you if you're running a damage proc, you got to land your damage proc on the 5th skill, and then you're just going to kind of run around a little bit and make sure you don't use any other skills so you don't trigger the proc early, because you want to keep it on the 5th skill. And his leadership gives him a crit rate bump by 24%. Let's preview the skills here a little bit. Now this is something about this guy that's totally awesome. I mean, this, from the very beginning, this is what we all love. The animations on this guy are absolutely beautiful. This 5 skill, I mean, look, it's a nice long iframe. That thing wasn't no iframe in the beta testing. It wasn't no iframe. That was just a regular old skill. It looked cool, but that was about it. The 4 skill brings out the Kraken, which is totally awesome. Man, I love the tentacles coming out, smacking everybody. Let's do that again. That is tight, man. Oh, I gotta love it. The 2 skill kind of brings him in. Look at that. Sucks him in there and does a nice little jab. That's cool. The 1. Yep, and then the 3. And that was just a regular skill too. Now it's a freaking iframe. Then it brings the water balls falling down. Pretty cool, man. Let's go ahead and get that tier 3 off cooldown and run that sucker. Look, man. These skills are absolutely beautiful. Let's hit that tier 3. Oh my freaking god, that is awesome. Oh my god, that thing is awesome. Wow. I love it, love it, love it. So he is way better than what he was in the beta testing. He's way tankier because he's got this decrease all damage received by 25% passive. They buffed his freaking damage. Well, to be fair, in the beta testing, we didn't have good cards or good builds, and that makes a huge difference. We didn't have a max raid level like what I'm going to be running with in this run against Thanos. I mean, there's a lot of variables that come into play. We just didn't have all these things. And on our own accounts, things are just different, man. You can show off these characters so much better. He has a Stage 6 Power of Angry Hulk set, but really he doesn't need that, guys. You can give him an Overdrive set. In fact, if I had Overdrive, my critical damage would be maxed out. And he has, I'm running a CTP of Energy with a 200% damage proc. Now, the chain hit damage isn't going to really be helping him a tremendous amount because he doesn't do a lot of hits, but he does a hell of a lot of damage. Oh, I didn't even run through the rotation, guys. So, I'm sorry. Let's run through the rotation real quick. I got a little excited. So when you're doing the rotation, guys, you just want to hit the 4, cancel into the 5, and then get your damage proc on the 5. And then what you can do is you can go ahead and hit the 3 if you want, and then I just kind of run around. I don't use the 2 and the 1. I pretty much just stick to the 4, 5, and 3, and that's about it, guys. That's really all I stick to. At Tier 2, he just doesn't have the stats that he does at Tier 3. You really don't want to be trying to face tank or anything like that, because you will die if you're doing that. Now at Tier 3, he's way tankier. He's got a hell of a lot more HP, and which means more durability for him, and he's going to have more survivability because of it. And I'm actually at a little bit of a dilemma, guys. This is kind of off the subject, but I'm actually don't know if I want a Tier 3 Wolverine, Namor, or if I want to work on, where is he? Or Mr. Fantastic. I actually have a bit of a dilemma. My gut tells me I want to go for Namor, and the reason I want to go for Namor is 1, he's the cheapest. 2, he doesn't have a uniform, so again, the cheapest. 3, he's a mutant, which is really nice. I can use those feathers on him. The other thing about him is he's going to be even that much better when he gets a uniform, and he can do Galactus GBR, which is a big thing for me now. That's really where I want to have him. I mean, so I don't know, guys. I'm really at a dilemma because here I got Wolverine, who out of these 3 characters, by far I love way more as far as a comic book character. I got Mr. Fantastic, who I think is the strongest actually out of the bunch. I mean, if you mythic his uni, I think he's the strongest. Both Mr. Fantastic and Namor, well actually all 3 don't rely on any all defense down on their Tier 3. Wolverine's unfortunately the weakest of them, but Mr. Fantastic I think is the strongest. I can't confirm that, but I'm pretty sure he is. I wouldn't say by some godly margin, but I do think he's stronger than any of them. But I don't know, because of the cost, the price, I'm really leaning towards Namor. I mean, I'm leaning towards him. And honestly, guys, I just love his animations. I think they're beautiful. And I want someone to do GBR. Galactus GBR is going to be a big priority for me. So, guys, let's take old boy against Thanos, and let's see how he does. Let's rock and roll. So you guys know how we do it. We're going to run with the max team. We're going to use Wave for her 60% all-attack leadership for only Namor, and her 40% damage dealt to supervillains. Watch this damage, guys. Look at that damage. Good lord. And we're going to use Nick Fury for that 55% damage dealt to supervillain types. We're not going to use any strike except for anti-venom because we need those heals. Gotta have those heals. And guys, I mainly just stick with the 4-5. I use the 3 sparingly. I throw it in there once in a while, and that's about it. Because he has that long cooldown on the 10, I mean, this guy's really built for a rage. I mean, that's just the truth of it, guys. He's built for a CTP of rage, But it doesn't mean you can't, do some things with this guy with a damage proc, And that's really what I want to show off, There's lots of videos out there with him having a rage, and that is the way to go with him for sure. But I just want to show you guys that he can get it done with a damage proc. He's pretty vicious, man. Dude hits hard, man. He's awesome. Super fun to play. And right there you notice that I was a little far away. You want to make sure you're fairly close to the world boss when you're doing the 4-5 combination. Now normally when you see me use Nick Fury, I'll use his all attack buff on his 5th skill. But with Namor, you don't want to do that. Because of Namor's all attack buff on his 5th skill, if you use Nick Fury's attack buff, well, when you use Namor's is just going to override it. So there's no point in using Nick Fury's attack buff. It will not help you. Anyways, Namor's is a whole lot better anyways. He's getting way more of a buff that he applies to himself than what Nick Fury's going to give to him. And really the worst thing about old Namor is the tornadoes, guys, getting snared. That's really the most difficult thing about him against Thanos. Other than that, he's not too bad. You know, it's a lot of running around. I usually just absorb the blue balls, just take it. Because even at tier 2, he's fairly tanky, you know. He's not super tanky. I mean, I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't try to go face tanking or anything. But, you know, he's fairly tanky, not too bad. We're going to switch away because she is fast on her feet. This girl can move. God almighty, I love watching her. I just love watching her run around. And there we go, guys. And one thing I love about Namor is he doesn't rely on any all-defense down, guys. That is something that's pretty awesome. I mean, yes, he has it, but it doesn't apply to World Boss, so it doesn't really matter. And unlike Wave, they specify that his all-defense down doesn't apply to World Boss. So at least they actually let us know the right thing with him. But man, he is so freaking cool. I mean, I'm seriously thinking about tier 3 in this guy, guys. I mean, I just look at this, I see this potential. Man, he's pretty dang strong. Even now, I mean, this is pretty impressive. Yeah, man. I mean, if I was using strikers, this guy'd be doing stage freaking 20. I mean, that's pretty awesome, guys. Level 60 character with no Urus. That's pretty impressive. No uniform. Yeah, I'm pretty blown away. Now there, I hit my damage proc early, and that happens sometimes, old Namor. You know, you hit the 4 skill, sometimes they'll trigger your proc, so you gotta be pretty fast. You know, you want to hit that 4, cancel right into that 5, and booyah, just like there. Oh, I love watching those whales slam down. That's so awesome. He is freaking cool to play, though, guys. I gotta tell you, man. I mean, I was really underwhelmed by Namor in that beta testing, and that's because of all the nerfs that we had on our, you know, with the builds that we were able to put on him, and plus the nerfs they had on Namor. They just didn't give him those iframes, and they didn't give him the decreased damage received from his passive. I mean, he's way better now. His damage seems way better, but, you know, that's because of our cards and raid level. I mean, he just... Wow. I mean, he can take it, man. He can take a bit of a beating, man. He's pretty sweet. I mean, if I would have used Shuri instead of Nick Fury, it would have just gave us 45% damage to the supervillains, but it would also gave us a decreased damage received by 35%. So he'd have a total of 60% decreased damage received from supervillains, which would really make him tanky. And since he has that guaranteed critical rate on him, you don't want to use Coulson on him. So it's pretty awesome, guys. I gotta tell you, man. I'm pretty impressed with old Namor. I'm really loving him. Yeah. And, you know, guys, let me know if you'd like to see this dude tier 3'd. I mean, I'm really digging him. Yeah, there I switched. That's kind of... No, I probably could have tanked that, but I want to see old Wave run around, man. With 4 or 5 again here, well, we'll switch. There we go. As soon as Thanos stops getting a little scared and faces us here. Freaking wuss. Booyah. So, guys, I mean, he definitely could have cleared this. Pretty awesome if you ask me. So let me know what you think about the tier 3 situation, and let me know what you think about Namor. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.